Hello my friends, it is Ray over at CigarClimatology. Sorry it's been so long. It's been kind of a long time before I've done since I've done a cigar review video, and I feel kind of bad about that. Unfortunately, I've been extremely busy. Not really with cigars, not really with humidors, but at my day job, my project out of state. My friends over at FOH have put out a request for a review on an SLR cigar, so that's what we're going to review today. What I have here is, I believe that these are discontinued now. This is from 2001. It is an SLR Serie A, and I have always enjoyed these cigars, but I must admit secondarily to the Rafael Gonzalez Coronas Extra. I do still have a few of these cigars left. Actually, this is a box from '01. I might have said that earlier. And I think I've got a cab hidden away here somewhere from maybe '06. But from the last time I remember smoking one of these, they were an excellent cigar. This cigar is, it's fairly roughly hewn. It is a medium to dark Colorado. It's quite veiny. It's got a nice box press. I'll grab you a couple of pics and put them up. A little primitively made. It's well aged. I've owned this cigar for a vast number of years at this point in time. As you can see, the band is quite free from the fact that the cigar is well acclimated in one of my own CigarClimatology humidor systems. It has a nice bouquet. However, since I keep my cigars fairly dry, sometimes that will affect the bouquet. But let's just jump right into this rather than pontificating here too much about the cigar. I've tended to pick up this habit from my friend Rob at FOH, and while I used to like to kid with him about it, I found that I do it more and more often, especially as I travel out of town, and I just don't like to have my cutters seized by the TSA. And that is the pinching thumb and forefinger method. My fingernails grow like weeds, so it's pretty easy for me to end up having enough nail to go ahead and do this. And if you do it carefully, it preserves most of the cap, and I got to admit, it's a really good way to process the venting of a cigar. The cigar has a nice medium draw, which is good because I can put a lot of pressure on this cigar. This cigar is very stout. It's as hard as a rock. I would imagine that most people, if they picked up this cigar inside of a brick and mortar store somewhere, they'd probably pass it over simply because it's so hard. However, properly made, it draws beautifully. Sorry, I've got my fan on. Hopefully it's not doing damage to my video, because it is just hot and muggy here today. I don't have my typical data logger up here. Running so I can tell you the temperature and humidity, but it's fairly hot. We have the air conditioning on inside, and it's pretty warm. And we have the mottled clouds, which actually make it look like we might get a little bit of rain. They probably won't last, but it does. It's what it looks like outside. The initial puff on the cigar is kind of dry tobacco, a hint of sweetness. Let's see where it goes. One puff, obviously, doesn't do much. Sorry about the wind blowing all of it. If I don't have a fan on, I'm just going to have to run out of the shop because it's way too hot in here. This has got the makings of a nice cigar. So far, straight tobacco and rather dry tasting. I suppose I could use the term astringent. It's not really that this cigar is any more dry or any less dry than any other cigar that I ever smoke, but I think you'll know what dry smoke, at least in feel, is like versus, say, a wetter, more unctuous smoke. This smoke has a bit of bite. It's slightly harsh, but not to distraction. I'm going to touch up the foot just a bit because of the fan blowing on me. Again, dry smoke, mostly tobacco. I can taste some converted tannins, a little bit of almond, a little bit of gasoline. We'll just have to see where it goes. Like I said in the beginning, it feels a little dry to me. Again, not physically the cigar, but the description of the smoke and the taste. Let me get into a little bit more, and I'll come back and I'll give you an update after I've smoked an inch or so off the foot of the cigar. Off here in the background, got a Humidor project that I've been working on. Unfortunately, I've been having loads of problems with my CNC. I'd have to get you a picture of my controller. It actually sits right over here, and I had to completely rebuild my controller, so it put pretty much a halt in my Humidor business for a considerable period of time, since my original controller that came with the CNC more or less melted down. I've literally just had to build my own, and it's coming along. If I can get the faults out of the servos to where the machine's 100% reliable again, I'll pretty much be back in business. This is actually just something that I've been cutting on. It is a new enclosure for my new enclosed back system, rather than leaving the power supplies, the relays, and those items completely open in the back like I've done in the past. I think the addition maybe of this enclosure will kind of pull the package more together. This won't quite be a Generation 14 system, but I am working on some additional circulation, actually doubling up of the high-low fan elements, which will help the circulation in the box. Maybe removing a fan and duct from up here, and using a new ducted integral heater. It's actually a considerably smaller heater. It's 20 watts versus the 30 watts that I typically use. But if it's enough to carry the load of this particular project, it will remove the heat device, which is typically down in this corner, and free up this area for more cigars, and just include the heater in one of the ducted devices. I actually have one that I'm using in the test box behind me, which has worked extremely well. It's a little bit smaller box. Over about the past, I want to say 2 years maybe, I've had that system in there, but I'm redesigning it since it requires an aluminum mounting plate so that it doesn't melt the enclosing duct. So it takes a little bit of redesign. I've been working on some CAD designs in that end. Anyway, so we're about an inch into the cigar. I'm going to go out, meet with my wife up on the front patio, and we'll get back to this in a little bit. Thanks for joining me. So I've since moved out on the patio with my wife, who actually isn't there. We're going to play a little bit of gin rummy here shortly, but I thought I'd come back kind of real quick and talk a little bit about the second half of the cigar. A couple of notes. First and foremost, I'm just going to talk a little bit about one of the recent threads on FOH with regards to burn. My wife wants to cross, so we've had a lot of discussion lately on the board about burn quality, and in a lot of cases this is being blamed on high humidity. It is relatively high humidity here today on Isla Pigfish, and if you can really see the end of the cigar is burning quite nicely. The only note that I really wanted to make is that with a lot of these comments that are being made about relatively high humidity and burn problems, I'm just not buying into a bunch of it. A lot of these, I believe, are folks who are running into typical Cuban construction problems and simply blaming it on relatively high humidity. This cigar is fairly dry. It doesn't matter that it's humid today. It has had no burn quality issues whatsoever. The core tobaccos are properly located in the cigar, so as you can see, the cigar is burning quite nicely. As far as the cigar itself, it's been a bit of a disappointment. I'll put the cigar at average, maybe above average, slightly, but it's not really an excellent cigar by any way, shape, or form. The dry smoke is still there. The almond, the hint of gasoline, a little bit of spice, and some white pepper. Certainly not the really positive experience that I had from the last one of these cigars that I smoked. Now, before I think a lot of people jump to a conclusion that's saying, oh geez, the cigars are over the hill. I don't really buy into that bunk. This particular cigar is an individual, just like the last cigar that I smoked out of this, which is an individual. The next cigar can be totally different. So we'll bring you back in for maybe the last few puffs of the cigar to sum it up, but you could probably save yourself the drama if you want to kill it here. It's been an enjoyable cigar. My company's been good, but I can't say that this is really one of the better cigars that I've smoked this month, or certainly this year. Sorry to rain on your parade, but that's the way they go sometimes. Anyway, we'll catch you back at the very last for a closing statement. Thanks for watching. It's recording. Okay.
Hey, look at that asshole smoking a cigar.
Yeah, there you go. That'll make it to the video, by the way. So I'm here with my lovely wife, as you can see kibitzing. She doesn't want to be seen on camera, but she doesn't mind being heard.
Shot?
Oh, I'm just not into an audience other than you. Anyway, so this is our parting shot with the 2001 SLR Serie A. I wish I could say it was a better cigar. I'd love to have made my the first video that I've made in a considerable period of time telling you what a fantastic cigar this was. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It kept my interest enough to continue to smoke it. I didn't toss it and get myself something else, but and it was an okay cigar. But like I said, I'm going to say average, maybe slightly above average, but really not an excellent cigar in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure your spitting of your fingernail pieces is coming up on my video, just to let you know.
Just to let you know, if I didn't know you were smoking a cigar, it sounds like you're talking about a woman that's just not up to par.
Well, it's kind of the same thing almost.
Yeah.
Anyway, friends, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you later.
You ruined that whole video, you know.
I've ruined the video. You want to get in any more takeouts?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Cheers.